Welcome to my channel, YouTube viewers, rock enthusiasts, and whom I can only assume are Chicago fans. My name is Darth the Red, and in this video, I dive into a golden era of rock history. Today, I'll be tackling a monumental quest, proving to anyone willing to listen why Chicago 2 by the band Chicago isn't just a masterpiece, but the pinnacle of late 60s, early 70s rock. Also, before you ask, yes, I canceled on my guild and turned down a hot Lord of the Rings movie marathon date to put this together and expose you to my nerdy side of music. So let me take a break from babbling about fantasy topics and instead talk about the best album ever made. Released in 1970, Chicago 2 burst onto the scene with a brass-fueled explosion that altered our understanding of the band. Their sophomore effort took them from what would be more in line with a jam band to a psychedelic orchestra. This album isn't just music, it's a 76-minute odyssey into the soul of rock, jazz, and classical fusion. Let's talk musicianship. Chicago was like the Avengers of their time, each member wielding their instrument like a superpower. The brass section alone could probably end conflicts with their harmonies, and when Terry Kath rips on the guitar, it's not just shredding. It's like when Thanos snapped his fingers. Not everyone's gonna survive the experience. Kath, an often unsung hero in the pantheon of great guitarists, remains a mesmerizing figure in the world of rock and jazz fusion. His work on this album transcended the typical boundaries of rock music, blending elements of jazz, rock, and pop in a seamless and innovative fashion. Kath's guitar playing was not just technically proficient, it was emotionally charged, soulful, and brimming with a kind of energy that few could match. But he always maintained a melodic sensibility that kept his work accessible and deeply moving. Terry Kath's talent also wasn't just confined to his guitar playing. As a vocalist, he possessed a powerful, gritty voice that perfectly complemented the band's brass-heavy sound. His vocal performances on tracks are as integral to the album's success as any of their horn lines or guitar riffs. Kath's ability to convey emotion through his voice, to go from tender and introspective to raw and powerful, made him a truly versatile singer. Now, I'm personally convinced that Joe Cocker and Ray Charles defied expectations and biology to conceive this genius. Hey, Darth the Editor here. I'm putting all the footage together and I'm kind of mesmerized right now, so we're going to take a quick break and just watch this quick clip. Did you notice how the drummer was like matching his energy with the ride at the end there? He's so good. Back to the video. One of the greatest endorsements of Terry Kath's talent comes from none other than Jimi Hendrix. As the story goes, after witnessing her performance in the late 1960s, Hendrix was so impressed with Kath that he reportedly told Chicago saxophonist Walt Peretzader, "Your guitar player is better than me." Now, coming from Hendrix, arguably the most influential guitarist of the 20th century, this is no small compliment. It highlights how Kath's prowess was recognized by his peers, even those who were themselves considered legends. This anecdote has become a part of rock lore, underscoring the high regard in which Kath's fellow musicians held his abilities. But it's not just the raw talent that sets Chicago 2 apart, it's the ambition. This album is a double LP, a bold move that said, yes, we have more to say than can fit on one record, and no, we're not just going to fill it with recordings of us tuning our instruments this time. This is a well-calculated, well-composed concept album. Despite Terry Kath being highlighted as a performance juggernaut, James Pankow is arguably the backbone of this album. As the primary songwriter, Pankow demonstrated a mastery of musical storytelling that was ahead of its time. His compositions on this album showcase not only his ability as a trombonist, but also his extraordinary talent in orchestration and arrangement. The compositions are a testament to Pankow's innovative approach, blending complex brass arrangements with heartfelt lyrics, creating a narrative that is as emotionally resonant as it is musically sophisticated. Another thing that sets this album apart is Pankow's ability to create music that is both intellectually stimulating and widely accessible. His compositions are not just songs, they're experiences. They take the listener on a journey through a spectrum of emotions, from the exuberant highs of love to the contemplative depths of introspection. Pankow's genius lies in his ability to meld the complexity of jazz with the energy of rock, all while maintaining a melodic core that resonates with listeners from all walks of life. Pankow crafted an odyssey that continues to inspire and amaze. We're talking about an album that broke barriers and set a new standard for what a rock band could achieve, and much of that is owed to his incredible talent. He's not just a musician, he's a visionary, whose work continues to resonate, proving that great music knows no boundaries of time or genre. Easily one of my favorite pieces of music ever written is featured on Chicago 2. Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan is a suite that flows through emotions like a river through a dynamically changing landscape. From the uplifting Make Me Smile to the introspective Color My World, it's like they compressed an entire Broadway musical into 13 minutes of rock. And if you're lame enough to not give this full album your time, then please do yourself a favor and at least listen to this suite. And I know music is subjective, and you could all comment things like, but what about Sgt. Pepper, Dark Side of the Moon, Led Zeppelin 4? Great albums, no doubt, but were any of them as daring in blending genres? Did any of them have a song that was both a top 10 hit and part of a larger suite? Chicago 2 didn't just break the mold, it crafted a new one. But isn't calling it the best album a bit much? Listen, I get it. But when you've got rock, jazz, and classical living in harmony, creating a sound that's as unique today as it was in 1970, I call that timeless. And when something's timeless, it's always in the running for the best. So I hereby declare Chicago 2 not just as an album, but as a landmark in musical history. Its legacy, cemented. Its place in my heart, unshakable. Its ranking in the annals of rock, top tier, my friends. Top tier. Thanks for watching along on my journey through sound and time. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and if you click the bell icon, you won't miss my next nerdy rambling. Until then, keep your record spinning, horns blaring, and remember to try to seek love and music in unexpected places.